You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Days of Our Lives fans, it's time for our weekly prediction edition. Katarina shoots Clyde and the new Lady Whistleblower is exposed. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I have got predictions for Clyde and Katarina, Patch and new Doug, Leo and the new Lady Whistleblower, Xander and Phillip, and also for EJ and Johnny. And hey, if you're not following us, please click subscribe. Let's jump in with that very first prediction. Clyde is shot by Katarina, his captive, aka the mom of Kat and Mark and Felicity and Aaron. So he's been shot before, but we know he's like a cockroach. You just can't kill this guy. Clyde has Abigail's remains somewhere, and he was also holding Kat's mom, Katarina, after the accident to make her and Mark do what he wanted. And Clyde wants to get his hands on Kat, and he demanded that Chad hand her over in exchange for getting Abigail's body back or the information to find it. So JJ, Gabby, Chad, and Kat are all in Vancouver trying to trick Clyde and get answers. Susan Elena Mattis is making her debut as Katarina Meleounis Green. I'm assuming Green's her last name, on Wednesday the 11th, and she's on again on Thursday, December 12th. And the actress posted on her Instagram that Katarina is a survivor with complicated family secrets who will protect her children at all costs. Plus, in this week's Days promo, Gabby, JJ, and Chad all have guns and face off with Clyde, who has a gun in his hand too. Kat screams no as a shot is fired. I suspect Katarina might be the one to shoot Clyde, unless, of course, someone shoots Katarina, but hopefully not. And hopefully she's not conspiring with Clyde. That would be awful. It wouldn't be the first time Clyde was shot and lived. Hopefully Katarina is there to save her daughter, as she kind of hinted on the Instagram, and gets her away from creepy Clyde. Our second prediction, Patch investigates Douglas III, Doug 3. Douglas Williams III, grandson of Julie's husband, stole the Horton diamond necklace, but Jennifer and Lucas think it was Julie's brother Steven Olsen that hijacked the gems. And for some reason, Hope has been suspicious of Doug 3 since the moment she laid eyes on him, and may look deeper soon. My husband actually walked by while I was watching that scene where Hope saw him in the house and immediately was suspicious. And he was saying, when there's a funeral, all kinds of family shows up, and it could include people you don't know. So he thought it was very kind of strange for her to be immediately on that high alert, but that's just he does these drive-bys where he tells me what he thinks of soap plots, and I always say, just stop, it's a soap. Anyway, spoilers for Tuesday the 10th. Hope is at the pub chatting with Steve, Kayla, and also Roman as they catch up. And in the promo for the week, Hope tells Patch and Kayla that she does not trust this so-called Doug. And I just wonder if he will volunteer or if she will ask Patch to look into his past. Doug 3 just got out of jail, like his namesake, spent time behind bars. So will Patch find out what he did? Is Doug 3 a thief? And then suspicion falls on him for the necklace theft instead of on Steven. Our third prediction, Lady Whistleblower the second, the sequel, is a rejected Leo superfan. So if you think back to July 10th, when we met this hunky guy named Carrie, that was during the time when Leo kept running into hot, thirsty, shirtless studs in Town Square. And it was the day Harry Scary Xander jogged up, sweaty, shirtless, and all sexy, and he gulped down Leo's cold glass of water while Leo was lusting over him. He's had the hots for Xander for a while. And shortly after that, this rando hot guy, Carrie, walked up and asked if he was Lady Whistleblower and said he was a super fan. So spoilers for this week say Derek Yates is back as Carrie on Wednesday the 11th, and it turns out he is actually a recurring character, not just a one and done. And with the stolen scripts and the new Lady W revealed, this is a big red flag. So back in July, when Carrie met Leo, they headed back to the Salem Inn, and Carrie ripped off his shirt and showed Leo his amazing physique. They started making out, but then Leo rejected Carrie didn't want to sleep with him and said there just wasn't a spark. And Carrie said he was still a Lady W fan. And now this guy's back all of a sudden. So he is a fan of Lady Whistleblower, which Leo abandoned because he's a scriptwriter now. And Carrie knows what room Leo lives in, and he knows he was Lady W, and he knew that Leo had changed jobs. So he is a very likely suspect, and he might have even grabbed a spare key while he was in Leo's room, or maybe he's just a real good criminal and can break in, steal the maid's key or something. But I think this guy might be our mystery Lady W. Our fourth prediction, Xander loses to Phillip in court, but things reverse later. Once again, Xander is unfairly struggling to retain his inheritance. Alex Kiriakis unknowingly stole it from him because of Teresa Donovan forging that letter with the help of Constantine. Alex still feels bad. He tried to get Phillip to back off and he wouldn't. And of course, Xander's awful mother exposed what Teresa did, but now Phillip's awful surrogate mother, Vivian, forged letters. This is the second forged letter to do with Xander's rightful inheritance. Spoilers for Friday the 13th have Sarah supporting Xander as he gets ready to face off with Phillip in court. And, we already saw this past week, Xander tried to appeal to Stephanie to stop her PR campaign to clean up Phillip's shoddy reputation before court. And I do suspect Phillip will prevail in court initially. And I think he'll get his hands on Titan for a while, although he is feeling guilty about lying to Stephanie. But there's a clip of Phillip and Stephanie making out on New Year's Eve. So that means his fraud carries on successfully for at least a while through the end of the year and maybe longer. But I do think in the end, Xander's going to get it all back. Our fifth and final prediction, EJ's help ends up wrecking Johnny's marriage. EJ DiMera is very intent on saving Johnny's marriage over that cheating whoopsie with Joy, but instead it looks like EJ makes everything worse, which is pretty typical of how things go when he's involved. After pressuring Joy to leave town, she caved and told Alex that she was leaving because of EJ, and then Alex went to confront Johnny D about it. So spoilers say the showdown that started on Friday continues on Monday, December 9th, and Chanel walked in on them at the end of Friday's show. It's going to pick up on Monday, and they're bickering, and she wants to know why. Now, Joy asked Alex not to blab the secret, but he really wanted to, and now Alex is blaming Johnny for letting his despicable daddy EJ bully Joy and try and cheat her out of this opportunity. So I just wonder if Alex is going to lose his temper and tell Chanel the truth, or maybe Alex confronting him and then Chanel walking in will all be too much for Johnny to take, and he cracks and he tattles on himself finally because he has been wanting to come clean. EJ's big move might come back and bite Johnny right in the butt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.